Hello and welcome back to the OCS. Game number 1. Got that one done and dusted out of the way real bloody quick.
Yep. Quick opener.
Yeah.
Gets you get the appetizer.
Yeah.
Those are entree.
Is this the main course?
Well, we'll find out.
I guess we will. That is just the biggest hedge ever.
It might just be 5 entrees.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like a tapas. You know, like tapas, you get like a bunch of different plates.
Yeah.
It could be that, or that could have been the entree, and now we're just going to get 5 meaty, like thick,
just steaks.
Just big
imagine
ones.
just like a 17-course meal, but the last 6 are just like steak. It's just like steak after steak after steak.
It's tapas, but just at the end, it's just like this big.
It's just enormous. Yes, but we are going to head into game number 2, and hopefully it will be your main course, you know what I mean? It's going to be AVA Academy versus Emprox, and Emprox is really the team I'm looking towards in this matchup. It was the Darius game from Berserker last week we saw that was incredibly strong, and the rest of the team around him as well.
Yes, I think that Darius, Mundo, Kindred sort of boomed at the top side with a Rise. I think it was a Rise Roam as well.
Yeah, it was.
And they just completely blew that game out. I like a team that knows how to snowball.
Yeah.
I think that is a skill that like a lot of people assume like, he was 2-0. Of course he
won.
Of course he just like took all the topside towers and like emptied their jungle. But I know a lot of teams who, with that same lead, like don't do that.
Yeah.
So I liked to see that. I thought Emprox were pretty impressive the first week. We found out since that Paladin is Bickelneck on solo queue, so now I know who he is, and he's not just a random new guy, player. So shouts out. And Lived from Emprox.
Yeah.
Lived was top 10 solo queue, I think, at the start of the year. And
his Rise looked really good. It was a 1v2 underneath the turret.
Yeah.
Sejuani did whiff the ulti, and so he kind of just like, he was just turning around.
But still, you got to
yeah.
be able to do it. You got to be able to catch a throw.
Yeah, that is certainly the case. On the other side of the coin, it is going to be AV Academy rather, and yeah, it was like a Nocturne game. It was Jace comp. It was a little bit kind of all over the place. Their game last week was super close, but I remember specifically Iano on the Ezreal.
Yeah,
like he cleaned up so many teams, like a quadra kill. Yeah.
For those that didn't watch last week, like imagine that game that we just saw then, except where the 80 carry like pushes the game like 10 minutes longer than it should have been just through like solo play.
Yep.
And that's what Iano did last week. So pretty impressive stuff from him on the Ezreal. We'll see whether he picks it up today again. Got a Rise ban out of the gates.
And
I like that. Lived, big Rise Vlad player.
Yeah, okay.
Plays a lot of Vlad, plays a lot of Rise.
Do we see both?
Maybe.
Only time will tell. And yeah, as you mentioned, it's game number 1. It's Orianna versus Hot Chili. Now it's Rise versus Lived. So a lot of these teams kind of paying respects to the most played, because once you get to stage, like you can say something for like pro players, you're able to play everything. Like you played in solo queue, you played in scrims, no pressure.
Yeah.
Once you get to stage, just having that level of comfort it just makes the game easy to play.
Yeah.
And easy to play is so boring. It's so it's so boring looking at a composition, being like, oh yeah, front to
boring
back,
for
like
who?
Malcolm.
For us or for the players?
Well, for both, right? It's like fun. Like people want to be like Lee Sin, Fiora, Aurelia, but then it just works.
Okay,
it straight up just works.
Put your hand up if you think that playing front to back is boring.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
No.
Yes, you were literally
I was naming champions.
like, oh, and then we're just gonna like fight front to back, and that's like boring. And it's like that's the heart of League of Legends. It's literally the best part.
No, nobody wants to play like
Maybe
Maokai. People want to play Aurelia.
I don't mind playing Maokai.
I also kind of like playing. Actually, Alistar, no, I don't like playing Galio though, and he's going to be the first pick. Rattling off the rest of the bans, it was Morgana and Akali. Leveraged that
Silas got through.
And yeah.
Let's run through these bans real quick.
Kindred.
I like that one.
Yep.
Don't know if Faulkner plays it. We're going to assume that he does. Kindred saw a lot of priority last week.
Yep.
I think we're 2-1 in games.
I think we're 3-1 actually.
3-1?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can understand taking that away. Jarvan picked up for Paladin. Jarvan super strong at the moment.
Yep.
Another Conqueror abuser. If you can take Conqueror, pick it.
Also going to deny the access to the Jarvan Gallia combo, so it makes a lot of sense to kind of remove that opportunity there from AV Academy. Silas, as you mentioned, flex pick can kind of go wherever he pleases. Can go in the mid lane, can go on the top side. So a lot of things left up and available. Is Sejuani going to be the lock-in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Not I mean, saw it work last week. It's a good champ. Sejuani, always sort of relevant. Non-committal ulti. Yeah, sort of. It really depends on what comp you have. I think Sedge is not boring when you have melees to work with.
Yeah, like an Aurelia.
Yeah, so like when you can proc your stun, you feel really
You're just
useful.
flipping them out.
Yeah, because you're like, normally, so like this game, assuming, let's say they pick 2 more range champs.
Yep.
Normally, it's just like, I'm here for my ult, and if I hit it, I feel normal.
Yeah, it's not
that's
even good.
expected of me. You don't even feel good unless you hit like a wild one on like a AD carry or something.
Yeah.
But you just hit your engage ult, and you're like, oh, okay, I've done my job. My anxiety is a little bit less, and not that you're like, oh,
don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up.
Whereas when you have the melees and you're just like, one for you, stun for you, that feels really good.
You get a stun, you get a stun.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I would say she's pretty boring.
Yeah, okay. And bot lane matchup is going to be the Kai'Sa versus Vayne once again. Flip sides here, and certainly did favor the Kai'Sa last game. See if Iana and Mboma can flip the script here.
I reckon that matchup is sort of a bait. Like, you see those 2 champs, and you're like, oh, those are 2, like, sick, like, outplay champs. Like, we're going to see some sick, like, stealth, tumble.
Stealth mechanics, yeah.
But what you actually get is just, like, 15 minutes of, like, truce, let's farm.
Yeah.
Let's say yes and do nothing until team fights.
No, but then you get the sickness. Yeah, then you get the 2 items.
You do get the sickness of team fights.
And all of a sudden...
I like to see 2v2 kills. I feel like there's a lot of complexity that goes into a 2v2 kill in lane. That I find very interesting. Yeah,
I could agree with that. Rattling through the rest of the bans, Echo is an interesting one. I think we saw a single ban last week of the Echo. Darius is going to be leveraged at Berserker. Had a monstrous game.
Did someone
play the first game?
Managed to play Echo? Is he an Echo guy? I assume it's a counter.
Yeah.
I assume it's a...
Played Jace last week, so Jace, Echo Zed.
So
that sort of champion pool. Yeah, that certainly makes sense and lived. Trending towards more of the Rise, the stuff like that means that they do kind of remove the wildcardy champions there. They're pinch the champion pool somewhat and make it a lot more standard than you would expect. Interested to see what AVA Academy do with the rest of their bans. 7 seconds
Darius.
to decide.
So they obviously watched last week's, or at least one player did.
Braum.
I like that.
We could have had the same matchup. Actually, no, it was the Kai'Sa Braum, and then it was the Galio.
Yeah, it was Kai'Sa Braum, Galio.
Yeah.
But it's good. You take away the strongest counter.
Yep.
Makes sense, right?
Yep, certainly the case. Interested to see what they do go for. Do they hold on to the flex? Probably going to be a support lock in here, I would think, so that Sylas can just be shuffled around, and the Thresh would be an interesting one. I like that a lot. Thresh into Galio is a fairly interesting matchup.
Good.
Yeah, so it is one of those matchups that, like, straight up 2v2, you don't just want to, like, fight in, right? But you do have Lantern to lantern people out of his ulti. Once you get to mid-game, like, you can kind of just... If you're on the same page as him, he wastes his cooldowns and you blow W. And then it's like you just win out more and more. But the laning phase can get rough if Galio gets a lead early.
Mundo hover.
But certainly is a tough one to navigate.
Poor Mundo. What?
Oh, okay. What? Yeah, interesting. So they ban the Darius. They saw that was Berserker's answer to it last week, and then they just lock in the Mundo for themselves. So this is a very beefy front line for a Kai'Sa. Do they pair it with like an Azir? Just go full out like front to back team fight. Let's get the AD damage. Let's get the magic damage. And no.
Okay. All right. Well, let's think about it. Let's use our noggins.
Let's think.
Let's have a think.
All right. What are we thinking?
Sylas stealing Mundo. Oh, seems not good.
Okay.
So maybe it's a matchup thing. Mundo and Sejuani. Mundo's got an auto attack reset.
Yes.
So that's a pretty good combo for the gank. Pre-6.
Yeah. It is going to be the Sylas matchup.
I like that. So the pre-6, so definitely killable. There's a million dashes, but figure it out.
Yeah, Corki is going to be the lock-in there for Lived. So Rise last week, now Corki.
I feel like this Vayne is just going to like pow, pow, pow. And
against all the front line. Just true damage through the Galio, the
Sejuani,
the Mundo.
QSS, and who's going to kill her? LeBlanc again, I guess. But I don't know, man. I got my eyes on Mboma this game. Let's see what he got.
Big shoes to fill there for Banished if he is the only one to be able to take down the Vayne. He's going to go for the cleanse as well, and that's kind of a price you have to pay against Galio lanes.
Is he? Oh, sorry, Mboma is.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because Galio's strength, we mentioned it last game, is really the Taunt Flash. And if you just instantly die, you get killed and it snowballs out of control.
Buying the QSS as well, right?
Yep.
They've got the Sejuani, so I think Cleanse is a fantastic pickup. It's going to be really difficult. Cleanse is... Can you cleanse Ignite? You can't.
No. Only QSS.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I love the sums from Mboma. I like the Vayne Thresh. They're putting a lot of... I said this last week. I like teams who take initiative, who take the outcome of the game into their own hands and say, we are going to win doing this, and we'll see whether they can pull it off.
Certainly is going to be the case. They can play the side lanes much better than their opponents, and Mprox showed last week they're fairly good at rotating around the map together. You were highlighting their ability to snowball at that game. Won't necessarily have the same lead here, but have shown their understanding of the macro sense.
I feel like Corky LeBlanc is one of those matchups that you look at it and you're like, oh, like LeBlanc will squash Corky.
No.
But that is not what happens.
No, absolutely not. Gets to build a Hex Drinker. Gatling guns you at the face level 1.
Has fleet footwork, has a million pots.
Yeah.
Once he hits 6, he can start clearing the wave.
I feel like a habit you have is like defining, when you were talking about Galio, it's the same thing. You just like, you describe the champion and you just make all of them sound so broken. Like, Corky is unbeatable. He has fleet footwork, he has so many potions, his Gatling gun does so much damage, and he just squashes you in lane. What can you, and he scales well, he does mixed damage, has AD and AP. He just does everything. I'm
a really positive guy.
Yeah.
I like to point out what people do right and not what they do wrong.
Yeah, okay. Why is Ivan OP? He's got 2 thumbs and a shield.
I don't know. He's got a lot of creativity, and I think he preys a lot on people's lack of knowledge around what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gutted him pretty hard.
So he's a bad champion.
Yeah, I'd say probably.
Yes.
They've gutted him pretty hard this year, especially. But the first year he came out, when I was playing him, his values were still like, because they did nerf him a bunch.
Yeah.
His values were still pretty high. His items are all really cheap. So you sort of scale into the mid game really quick, and you become a really strong second support. But
I feel like when Ivan is good, he's incredibly good. Like when Ivan is good, he's the best.
He's sort of feast or famine.
Yeah, because if he's safe enough to be played.
Blind hook, here we go.
He's actually going to land over the wall and carries it through. Aftershock is going to proc as well. Galio is walking down, and no flash does have to be burnt there for the Kai'Sa, but level 1 trade. Big win there for Emprox.
Love how long they waited. Right,
yeah.
because this means that there's going to be no leash for Faulkner, and he's
Galio's
also probably going to miss some CS.
Reload port does cancel that one, so he gets a Galio leash. Certainly not the best thing there, but for a matchup of Fresh Vein into the Galio, and yeah, Liv just blows the Gatling gun on the wave.
Misses the melees as well, so he's got 1 CS and loses the trade.
Yeah, we're all about analyzing the micro. Last week, Mugi,
he was... Dude, Mugi's sick. Mugi's sick. Legacy's sick. I'm sick.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Both junglers starting on opposite sides of the map here. Sejuani, as we mentioned, got the lead from Galio on the bot side, and Jarvan tracking up towards the other side of the map. Big connect. Maybe we want to influence the top lane fairly early. Level 2 is going to be procced here after the 2 melees. Artek does have hook level 1 as well, so they can go pre-level 2, but
here we go.
Respect is going to be paid. No, out of range. Doesn't actually throw that one. Lift is struggling through the early stage of this matchup, and
yeah. I'm not a mid laner expert. I feel like Gatling gunning the melees level 1 is not amazing, because LeBlanc can just wait till it's over and then hit you. But in any case, we saw Paladin go for topside crab after red.
Yep.
Just maybe looking for a level 2 gank, but walked over a ward, so not able to do anything. Also spots Faulkner crossing over towards blue, so counts the CS, sees he has less than 8, which means he hasn't done the bot crab.
We'll just be able to pick that one up, crosses straight through mid, gets a cheeky little level 3 from his mid laner. Kind of steamrolling ahead somewhat. Sejuani is actually tracking towards topside, but you can see Berserker's position on the minimap. He's just respecting it heavily.
There you go.
In the bush, and
that's how you do it.
Yeah, that is what you kind of expected to happen in this matchup, and trades very well into Banish. Big wave as well that will crash.
A lot of CS. I think Liv might be a little nervous this game, potentially.
Sejuani still sitting around here. Did go for the golems early, then backtrack, potentially looking for that gank. Don't find it, so he's gonna...
is in a really difficult spot for Berserker. I mean, this is a completely different Mundo to the one he took on last week. He's sort of getting frozen against, and even if he does walk up to try and break it, Faulkner's right here.
And it's somewhat of a product of Paladin showing in the mid lane. He crosses hardcore to bot crab, and like they know exactly where he is. So Faulkner comes up here, and he doesn't even have to show on the top side. There's no vision, but Berserker knows he is around and can get punished. Does he have the E available? Faulkner is going to fish for it. Lands the flail, but the dash gets himself out of that one. And Berserker, despite the pressure, doesn't lose a whole lot. The wave is just going to continue.
My personal jungle mantra, ganking mantra rather, the ganking. If you're going to show on the map, make it worth something.
What, flash?
Yeah. Not Faulkner, but like Elo needs to flash forwards. Like he needs to flash, that cleaver needs to land. If that cleaver lands, like, I honestly think Berserker might have died. Like, yes, okay, he has a dash, he has a flash.
He's got a W.
He's got a heal, he's got all that stuff. But you can make it work!
Potentially he has every tool he needs to
But
dodge the
burn
gank.
it. Burn the flash. Make him scared for the next one.
Yeah, okay.
Don't just be like, oh, by the way, I took your golems and I'm top lane and now I'm leaving. And now Berserker gets to shove the wave in anyway because I didn't actually do anything to him. Like, I don't know. You're better off not doing anything.
Not showing on the wave.
Yeah, you're better off just basing. Paladin now needs to check his golems to see whether they're there or not. Whereas you can see now, he's pinging opposite golems and he's running straight bot side, even though his wraiths are up.
Yeah, and they have so much vision. One of the wards in the Raptor pit did just die, but they had triple wards. One on golems, one on red, one on the Raptors, and they know exactly what is up and available down there. As you mentioned, the ping does come out from Paladin, and his bot lane has priority. They do have the XP advantage, given what happened level 1. They forced the Kai'Sa back to base, so kind of has
back as well.
A lot of freedom.
Jarvan might have an opportunity here in the next 20, 30 seconds or so.
Kai'Sa is the only one in this lane that has wards available, and Jarvan hasn't walked over any, so if they push this past the river, could be a bit of a roughie. I believe Mprox actually see the Sejuani on the golem, so they know exactly where he is. Crab is going to spawn.
Paladin had the sweeper.
There it is.
And he knew Faulkner warded over the wall, so went into the dragon pit, swept it out. That does mean that AVA know where he is, and they are going to be careful. Faulkner's going to come bot and help them shove this wave in. And in the meantime, Paladin doing the smart thing and and leaving. Once he's shown, once he's applied a level of pressure, he now knows, yeah, okay, this guy has to come bot to shove it in, and I'm just going to take my ranks.
So the hardcore shove-in from Faulkner is actually going to sit with his bottom lane. As you mentioned, the Jarvan tracks towards the other side. Artek just being annoying.
Just letting him know.
Yeah.
I think that's an important part of League. Just
yeah, I
letting
agree.
the opponent know that you're here. Like, hey, I'm
It's
playing
me.
the game, by the way.
It's me, Thresh, Artek.
I will play you. Like, just know
Here,
that.
I'll show you.
just know that.
Look at
I
my
will
flame.
do that if I do
Look how
it.
cool it is. You
It's
like
not
my
a
skin?
cooldown. I have enough mana.
Yeah.
That's what my E does.
Certainly is the case. A pretty respectful game of League of Legends for the first 7 minutes of this game. Berserker on the top side, just kind of cheating back when his wave was pushing in. Faulkner pushing with his bottom side, and no ganks have really eventuated in anything. TPs have been burnt by the mid laners to get back to lane, just to not lose CS, but that's something you do expect.
Yeah, we're sort of in an interesting position where Paladin does have the jungle advantage, and he has had the tempo lead for the entirety of this game.
Yep.
And he's happy just pushing it, which makes sense, right? For any jungler, if you know you're going to have tempo lead, you're like, okay, well, if I just keep pushing this, at the first team fight we have, I'm going to be stronger than him, and I can, you know, I'm going to be instrumental in my team winning a team fight. However, he's sort of playing the Jarvan, and Faulkner's playing the Sejuani. And Faulkner doesn't mind, like, if you told him at the start of the game, like, hey, you're going to be a level behind, but you're not going to have to fight until 10 minutes. He'll probably going to say, okay,
Yeah, right.
I'll take that. I'm playing the pig. Literally is a pig with his skin.
Ah, true. I do want to touch on the Moby Boots. We talked about it last game. It was in the hands of a Galio, but this is the first buy here from Artek. Bought it, ran immediately to mid lane, and then used his W to check the bush and spotted out the Sejuani. Gets himself away from any sort of gank threat, but I like that call a lot. If you've got to buy Mobies, this is the time to do it. Do it early, and you can see Real Opal on the other side. He wants to get to 6. He wants the combat stats, so he goes for the upgraded Relic Shield, and two different schools of thought here. Infernal Dragon, certainly he's going to favor Mprox. They have a lot of upfront damage here available, so...
Yeah, just on the Mobies, I remember there was a support player that I used to live with, and he actually told me one time that if he couldn't get Mobies first base on Thresh, they didn't want to play the game anymore.
Name and shame.
I can't remember what his name was. It was you.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually thought it was going to be Flying Jew.
Actually,
you never lived, because you said live with, because you've never lived. No.
But actually, I've lived with heaps of Thresh players.
Yeah, because you said live with, and I was like, okay, it wasn't me. Also, I don't remember saying that.
You definitely did.
Really?
I was watching you play solo queue, and you were like, playing Thresh, and you were just getting pwned, and you were like, if I can't buy Mobies on my first base, I don't want to play anymore. And I was like, well, you queued up.
Damn. All right.
Sorry to put you on blast like that.
No, I like that. That's commitment. I'm committed to
I really
Moby's
thought
Thresh.
that joke was going to work better, but I totally forgot that I lived with actually a lot of players.
Yeah.
I thought
and you haven't, like, whilst we were playing, you didn't live with me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, it's not me. Like,
that
what?
definitely needed some work.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be better next week.
Yeah, work on it. But package has been picked up here for Liv just kind of floating down towards the bottom side. Sejuani is here shepherding the gank, so if it is going to be pulled off, then could be a 4v3 under the turret, which does sound dangerous. Banished is going to
he's pretty low mana, actually.
Yeah.
He probably, he packages, and False Bomb is probably... That's it.
Does package cost mana? I don't think it does, right? It's going to zoom over the wall.
Oh, that's how you going.
Yes.
Because that is now a base required for Lived, and he doesn't have the TP, so that is super frustrating. That's one of those ones, like, generally it's like, oh, sorry, man. But this is one of those ones where you're like, come on, bro. You
just, like, genuinely, that's probably a wave of XP. That's
like,
a wave of
press
CS.
S, please. Like, do me a favor.
Did he just right-click it? Because Red Buff can't take it.
Nah, no.
Sorry, Skirmishers can't take it.
The burn can't take it, neither can his Cinderhulk. So it had to be an auto attack or something.
A little bit of a whoopsie. It's going to cost them. As you can see, he's just kind of right-clicking the wave as much as possible. Does have a...
he does have his 2 pots, actually.
He's got a corrupting pot, so...
Yeah.
Not the biggest thing in the world, but Banish certainly much more in control of the wave. Now you see the LeBlanc being able to push in if she chooses. Elo is going to pop the ulti here, and Berserker hasn't used his, so...
It just means that he can't trade anymore. Like, he can't... In the past, we saw Liv winning the lane, getting priority, and moving into the jungle. Losing that blue, okay, he's probably not going to die as a result, but it just means he's no longer going to have that pressure that he had earlier, and that is a massive shame. Like, just because you're not losing necessarily doesn't mean that...
If you should be winning, going neutral is losing. Like, you're down a peg on the rung, no matter what.
Yeah.
Paladin was looking for a top gank there, potentially. They knew the Mundo had no ulti, but it is going to be the Rift Herald. And this is another play I like from Arte. Goes for the early Mobies, goes for the recall, and you can see the time with which he has over his opponent. He gets to this play much earlier than the Galio. Ulti is there to potentially get Relocal into the play. Sejuani ult is going to pick up. Who gets the Lantern? Berserker gets himself out, and that's just a free Rift Herald. No fight needed. Get there, get in, get out, and they take the buff and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, that's jungle priority for you. I mean, we spoke a little bit earlier about how Paladin wasn't taking any fights, wasn't looking for any early gains despite playing the Jarvan, but the fact that he's got that tempo lead, he's stronger, he's clearing his camps quicker, he's got more spare time. He's picked up an Infernal Drake and has now got himself a Rift Herald.
Oh, spare time is so good in League of Legends.
It is actually...
Having time to alt-tab and change song is genuinely OP.
Who listens to music while they play?
What do you mean?
That's for noobs.
What?
You need 100%... You need 100% mental.
Oh, I have a story. Do you know Spooks? Of course you know Spooks.
No, who's that?
He listens to the, like, he tweeted it the other day. Yeah, binaural, like,
what is that exactly?
brainwaves. I don't know, but we actually have a fight brewing. Okay. There's going to be the Cataclysm going in there for Paladin, but he may just get one shot. The turnaround is going to be there. Reload Ball does not die to the turret, and that's first blood going to AVA.
That was pretty keen. I mean, I was distracted about our talk.
Binaural
beats. Whatever. And I'm not actually sure what was going through Paladin's head at that stage. Maybe he thought he could one-shot someone. The Galio did get pretty low, as did Ayana on the Kai'Sa.
And I just think that's
just seems like he went for it all there and got very little.
Instead of the binaural beats, it was actually lo-fi hip-hop.
Hang on.
7 beats to study in. There we go. That's actually the turnaround. Berserker gets the 1-for-1. Will lose his life at the back end, you would think.
Ooh.
Does get cleaned up by Faulkner, and
you never know with Silas.
He always trade.
Find some health somewhere.
If he gets some spare time, you know, he can start working on a W. He can pick that one up, get some health back.
No spare time in that fight.
Yeah.
Every second mattered.
Liv just denying some of the Raptor camp. That kind of speaks to the CS lead that has been brewing in the mid lane.
No TP on Berserker as well means that wave is going to bounce back, and he's going to lose another wave as Liv is pretty aggro here. Forces banished to W away. Does have the TP. Double TP matchup in the middle lane, so not going to hurt him too much. Probably no TP flank coming from LeBlanc anytime soon. Picks up the lost chapter as well, so it's probably decent back timing.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Probably fair enough. Turret plating falling off in 30 seconds, and that was an interesting play in the top side, right? Like, it was a swing you didn't expect to happen. And
like we've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen a lot of lane swaps where towers haven't fallen first. They're just like, ooh, let's move it over, guys.
Paladin is here. EQ is available. And basically face checks. Play is going to go wide, but the box will land. Taunt gets on to 2, but a very nice hook. Spells death for the Kai'Sa. E hits onto him, but everybody is piling into the bottom lane. Galio is going to fall down, as is the Thresh. Elo taking up as much as he can for the double AD carries, but that will spell the rest of that fight. Everybody sort of walks away. Even Stevens, 2-for-1 trade there as Silas just pushing on the top side.
AVA need to get something done here because Berserker's no TP means he's just at this tower with a fat wave, getting a big chunk. Plating is down, but no one can go top. Like, it's going to take Kai'Sa a while to walk up there, and Berserker's going to get a ton of damage. So they're moving over to the Dragon. AVA know that something needs to happen, but Air Drake is probably not the trade you want.
Yeah, Corki, probably one of the better champions to try and solo contest this one, but given it's just an air, doesn't want to pay the price, doesn't want to risk that one, especially with a LeBlanc being able to walk him away from that one. If a chain lands, then could be in some trouble. Gold lead, still in the hands of Emprox, 3,000 there, or just over 2 rather. As you mentioned, plating wasn't there, so they couldn't take down the turret. They didn't want to commit to that one. And
Artek lets him know with the flay again.
Did miss that one.
He said, did he?
Yeah, he missed it.
Thought he hit it, but it must have just been Java and EQ time at the same time.
I believe so.
Well,
maybe he's going to call me out because he did hit it, but I think he missed that one.
So, okay, remember that play I did earlier?
Yeah. Here's one.
Here's another one.
Look at it, over here.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Rift Herald, kind of timing out there, I believe. And can they take it down before she gets the charge? No.
Weird.
So
but it does no damage because it has no health. And they use that time to push into the bot side jungle, get 2 pinks down, and another ward. Corki will pick up the bot tower, but I wonder whether there was the opportunity to potentially follow that up with some damage. If it wasn't 200 HP by the time it charged, I think this tower would probably be 1 or 2 hits from dead. But
does it still work like that? I thought they upped the base, where like it still does significant damage, even if Shelly's on like 2 HP.
I don't. Okay, I'm not certain enough to be like, no, Bryce, you're an idiot.
Okay.
But I will say I'm quite sure that it works that way still.
Yeah, I think it does scale off to some degree, but like the baseline is now a cutoff that is like, because it used to be on like 2 HP, do literally no damage.
Yeah.
Right? But now like the baseline does 200, 300, it does like a significant chunk.
But I think like the difference between full health and 200 health, I'm pretty sure is still like
fairly large.
Yeah.
So Falconer once again just shepherding his bottom lane. This time
Paladin with the
in the
full
middle of the map.
MR stack. He's got the treads. He's got a Negatron. Probably going for I don't know what that is. The stone.
Yeah.
Stone plate.
Stone plate.
Yeah. Guess the chain burst as well. So Cinderhawk stone plate for the J4. He's going to be as tanky as he can be. Sort of solo frontline this game. Does have a bit heal tank and Silas, I guess, but he's going full damage at the moment.
He's going to be the one that is engaging the fights, and I kind of do like the stone plate, because he's going to go in, like Cataclysm, stone plate, stand in between 4 people, and then potentially, if the communication's on point, it could just be a lantern then from Artek. So he kind of buys time with the stone plate active, and then has the ability to get lantern out as soon as that wears off, and is the solo frontline, as you mentioned, so potentially opens up a few easier opportunities he can't quite get as punished as he would with a different support that can't get him out of that situation.
Yes, Thresh, definitely handy for that for the CC lock.
Are you a big Thresh on your team fan?
Yes and no. Like, he's another Feast or Famine carry, I think. He's not like Blitzcrank, where Blitz can like 0-10, be 0-10 and yank someone anyway, and like just like pull LeBlanc and you win a game because of silence. He can't really do that because his hook is too
the hook
telegraphed.
You to them as well.
Yes, and that also. But a good Thresh, like people talk about supports not being able to carry games, but I feel like Thresh is one where
he's the prototypical support carry.
You really can, and if you're a good Thresh and you have a good game, like you can really make it tough for the opposition. So. I don't know. I like a good Thresh, and I don't like a bad Thresh.
I've definitely always said... I definitely always said people that say you can't carry support are definitely just bad supports.
Agreed.
Because
I think
if you sit in the bush and AFK and you're like, oh, I'm useless, I'm just like, man, of course you're useless. You're doing literally nothing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as roles go, I can't see, like...
It's definitely harder.
Okay, I played well and lost. I imagine that happens the most on support. But at the same time, like... I don't know. Anyone who says they can't carry because of X, like, shut up. Be a better player. Unless I say it, then it's okay.
Bummer. Valkyrie is forced out there from Lib. Just managed to look over the wall.
Cleaver.
And,
big old briefcase.
Cleaver's going to hit him in the face. I like the new animation on the Mundo ulti, with like the arrows that are like ding, 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 his health going up. I feel like I haven't seen that one before.
You're not a big Mundo player?
No. Like, how long has that been in the game? Because we haven't seen Mundo for, like, at the height of the meta for a fairly long time.
Yeah, I played a bit of Mundo jungle, I think, last year when they buffed him. And he already had it then.
Yeah,
so it's at least a year old.
Okay, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, granted, like, you know, when was the last time you saw Mundo before that?
Biopanther OPL.
Oh, actually, yeah,
Pentakill.
He did play it a fair bit.
Yeah,
Biopanther.
maybe I'm just
maybe
dumb.
you're just not smart.
That could be the case.
He's
But
pretty smart, but he could be smarter.
this is a bit of a contest in the mid lane. This game has been incredibly slow by the standards we've seen set by the other OPL teams. This is gold lead still 3,000 in the hands of Emprox. Infernal Dragon to Air Dragon is the trade, and 2 turrets to 0. So Emprox firmly in the lead, but not really making too much of that lead right now. Infernal Dragon is going to spawn as the Vayne goes towards the red buff.
Yeah.
So AV Academy have a bit of time that they probably shouldn't have around this buff, and they will just start that one up. Paladin just EQ'd to Golem, so they're just straight up conceding this one.
It is the first Infernal Dragon I've seen not result in a team fight.
Yeah.
In the, we've watched how many games now? 7 games? 8 games?
Yep. This is
and
number 8.
every single Infernal has had an ace as a result. One way or the other. But Paladin says, guys, I have a really big buy if I can get these golems. Yep, the stopwatch.
Stopwatch and a pink ward.
Sick.
It's pretty sick. It could be sicker.
Sicker though.
But Package going to time out here in the bottom lane. Luke is just going to recall. It is a double TP comp from both of these teams, rather, as side lanes can just be kind of traded back and forth, and all of them are online. So it is hard to start a fight, given that every single member of the team could be there.
Yes.
Bottom lanes just kind of rotate from mid, and any sort of skirmish will result in a 10-man on your screen team fight, most likely.
I feel like the team fight is pretty scary for Emprox to look at.
Yeah.
So like AVA are like, AVA probably have a feeling they're behind, not having their towers. So they're like, well, we don't really want to fight, because like, we don't have towers. Vayne has 2 items. I don't have 2 items as the Kai'Sa yet. But for Emprox to go aggro, they got to deal with Sedge, Mundo, Galio. Even Kai'Sa can be pretty slippery at the best of times.
Yeah.
So just try to play the game as slowly as they can. Pick up as many item spikes as possible.
It's not like they scale off or anything.
Eventually.
So,
no, well, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams scale really well.
Oh, that's a bit of damage.
Chunk, though.
And gets the turnaround. That's a very nice hook from Artek, and Kai'Sa may just be dead to rights. No, he gets out from the back. The shield is there, as is the redemption. Hook number 2 lands onto the Galio, and he may just fall down at the back end of this one. It looks like Emprox
very low.
are looking to get this one, and Boma flashes forward, picks up a nice kill onto the Kai'Sa, and they're going to get the turret off the back end.
That's exactly what we were talking about. I mean, despite the gold lead, AVA
was
close in that team fight still. Unfortunately, the right members survived for Emprox, so that means there is nothing left for AVA to do here except seed their mid tower and watch them as they establish some more vision control and pick up those juicy side waves.
Yeah, I like that from Artek as well. Landed a couple of hooks and actually goes fishing for a blue buff just to check the respawn there. So mid turret falls, 3rd of the game. 4 kills now to the Vayne as he goes back and finishes his 2 items after... Actually, no, he hasn't reset yet, so he's just going to do the rates and potentially have a fairly reasonable buy off this one. Doesn't need QSS because he has the cleanse, so damage is just going to ramp further and further, and you can see Kai'Sa after that one, Iano doesn't go back and finish his Gwynsu.
Still
so
doesn't have the Gwynsus, and that's a big problem.
Ooh.
Cleanse, so he buys the QSS because the cleanse is on cooldown, and I hope that Emprox have made the call that they are about to fight over something.
That's a pretty baller call, if that is the reason. Because there is
that
multiple...
to me is super high level.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's super high level. Like, okay, guys, we just won that team fight. I don't have cleanse or flash, but like, we can force on Baron right now, and we will win again. I'm going to buy QSS.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about like the trajectory of their build given like key points in the game. It's just like, this is my end point. What is the optimum path to get there in general?
That's a really a good way to put it.
It's not like, okay, if I buy Ohm Wrecker, we can dive this turret and then we can hit a Nexus and then we can win the game.
Yeah.
But this just could be the case. They're going straight towards the Baron. Does have the QSS and is pushing in the mid wave. You can see Silas potentially rotating over. Still does have the TP, but he may just be right here.
Walker needs to be careful because he has the Tarbis, and if a hook lands, he is killable.
Yep.
Porky does a ton of damage, and he doesn't actually have a completed defensive item yet.
Yep.
Other than, I mean, he's not weak, but you don't want to be half health versus Corky Vayne in the Baron Pit.
And certainly when Corky gets to deny her passive, he just like hits it with a rocket and then you lose all the burst resists. Vayne's going to chew through you with a Bork and Ginsu's, even though you do have armor. And
well, Vayne was mid lane, but I more meant the Baron can be done so quickly that you need to be able to commit, and if you're half health, then puts you in a tough position.
Yep. He's going for not sure about the ordering of his build. I didn't see what he bought first, but he can go back and buy Knight's Veil and then try and keep up the Kai'Sa or keep up the LeBlanc. He can go back and buy the Stone Plate and keep himself up in the
this is
team
exactly
fight.
what I was talking about. This Baron is going to melt unless they check.
Yeah, TP is
Paladin
there from the
is taking
Silas,
a
but he
fair
has
bit of
not
damage.
committed. That's a hook landing onto the Galio. Taunt goes actually onto 2 carries. That's the QSS burn immediately. Claim's not available, but Paladin goes into the back line. That will be the Stone Plate pop. Galio comes down, but this does look like another Emprox team fight. Elo gets himself into the play, and it may just be the turnaround. Berserker running for his life. Lived has no mana, cannot deal any damage, and AVA Academy may have turned this one around. Cleaver plus a headbutt to the back of Berserker, and that's a 3-for-1. They start off the Baron, but they lose the fight.
That's that Emprox, that's that AVA team fight we were talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
Emprox are at a disadvantage when they start that fight. Paladin's half health. When that hook landed, they were still sort of on the Baron.
Yeah.
Definitely tanking it, if not sharing damage between Baron and the enemy team. Lived also, I noticed at the start of the fight, I didn't want to interrupt you. You're on a roll. But had no mana. He had burned it all on the Baron. I think he shot 1 Phos Bomb and then had, 1%, 2%, 3% mana. I think he got a little bit back off a kill potentially, and I saw him shoot some more rockets, but not able to put out that full damage potential that you get out of the Corki when he's just getting those Triforce procs with the rocket. So, I mean, is this the turning point of the game?
Potentially. It could just be a trade.
Maybe.
Earth Dragon, they do have vision of them walking throughout the mid lane. It is
Kai'Sa has the Gwynsters as well, so this is also done quickly, but
8,000 HP.
Line champions.
Artek is going to get here, but Jarvan is just absolutely nowhere. Hook goes wide as well.
Oh,
That's just got
with the steal.
Ooh, Berserker somehow hits it over the wall, and that is disastrous. Faulkner still has Smite available.
That is
that is a train wreck. That should not have happened. Faulkner kicking himself after that one. Berserker somehow saves the day.
Faulkner
and they're
going to
get the Earth Dragon
game
as well.
up to this point as well.
Oh.
Scaled well into the mid game. Hit a couple key ults. These team fights were finally going well. Monster call to start that Baron. That Baron was dead to rights.
Lantern doesn't take it. Chain is still going to
Says
contest it from the LeBlanc. The Paladin is falling incredibly well. That's a big cataclysm, but Redemption is going to come through. Lift is hitting everyone, but one falls down. Iana goes forward. The Kai'Sa 1 versus 3 off the backside as Mboma gets taken out as well. Can he buy just enough time? But no, Berserker cleans up him on the back end. But this is just a straight up 3v3 front to back. Banish double distorted to the backside. Lived is just dishing out so much damage. Berserker with the W heals. And do they continue chasing this one? 3 versus 2. No gentleman's agreement. Shake hands and they do just back away.
I mean, AVA are winning these fights.
Yeah, front to back.
But the gold lead isn't changing. I mean, I guess that's better than a bigger deficit, and it does mean that the Baron now, there's no Baron play. No towers fall as a result of that massive Corki steal. And it's looking like AVA have stabilized this game.
Wait, Corki? Corki stole?
Yeah.
I thought it was the chains from
Nah.
the Silas. Oh.
Corki. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a big one.
I love that it's literally called a big one.
I'm not 100%, but he had 2 big ones in his rocket list already. And I don't know.
Flings a rocket over the wall.
Pretty sure. In any case, even if it was a big one, it's not more damage than a level 12 Smite.
Yes.
Which is doing something like 850, 790, something along those lines. 780, I think it is actually.
Yep. So.
Big miss there, but game stabilized anyway. And
that's the thing.
I mean, both teams scale, but we're seeing now that if Mboma dies early, this front line is really difficult for them to get through.
They just want to be doing separate things. Emprox really do. Like, they can split the map if they choose to. Corki, 70 CS is very strong.
That they can.
I feel like can go against the LeBlanc if he wants to, but
Mundo is a hyper-scaling tank.
Yep.
He's really, I think, the only one in the game, and he's one of the few tanks that, as he gains levels, his kill threat goes up.
Very obnoxious.
Berserker at this stage, I don't think he's got any chance of killing him. Potentially, with a 30-second double ult steal, just ultra sustain.
Just
maybe
forever.
Maybe, but Elo takes a hook, but that's not the
That
guy you
is
want.
onto the Mundo. He falls incredibly low, and he will just fall down before the Galio comes through. But both ultis get cancelled. 1 kill onto the Mundo, and that may just be the opportunity Emprox needed. You talked about Elo so incredibly strong, but off the map for 40 seconds.
And Boma just does so much damage, and if he gets to ult and just stand and deliver on the Mundo, he's the only guy, really, who shreds him. And Artek having a pretty good game so far.
100%. He just got one
some
hit.
Big hooks.
Yeah.
Did he flay the Galio out of the ult as well?
I believe he did. And then Silas's Galio ult got denied on the other side. I'm not sure what CC hit that one, but
Team
5
fighting
versus
with Thresh
4
is particularly skill intensive. Like, there are so many different things you can do in a team fight as Thresh that you can either have a huge impact or
just be useless.
be completely useless.
Yeah, you throw a lantern, you throw a hook, none of them connect with anything, and you're like, sick guys. I've got my flay stacked up. My next auto is going to do a lot of damage.
Stupid AD didn't do enough damage.
Yeah.
We should have won that fight if you positioned better. Bane.
And they did win that fight, luckily. W is going to come out and cancel our Tech's recall. But as you mentioned, and I kind of want to talk about these two compositions holistically, like in a general sense. Because I talked about, like, there's a potential for the 1-3-1 there. But 1-3-1 comps, as soon as you lose tempo, it's almost impossible against a straight-up team fight to just set up your style. Because, like, the opponent is like death ball. We just run 5 members up mid. You have to come to us. You don't have enough time to push the side lanes. And I feel like that's exactly what has happened. Yeah.
It's like having all 3 towers up is sort of an advantage for AVA, in the sense that it makes your objective very simple.
And it's
like,
very close.
I'm death ball, and I'm going to run into your mid-tier 1. It's not a big investment by us. If you team fight, we're probably going to win.
Yeah.
And so there's not a ton of complex thinking that needs to go into it. But Emprox, they're trying to figure it, like, 1-3-1, pushing the vision. How far can I push this wave? How far can I not? Elo's going to live for a long time.
This could be the opportunity they are looking for. Liv has arrived. He does significant damage, but there is a fight brewing on the other side, and Boma is in a bit of trouble. Artek has already fallen off. Elo eventually does fall down. W goes a little bit wide, and it is just a 1-for-1 trade support for top laner. So all things considered, you may just have to favor Emprox here.
You will take that. And Boma did save the ult, so just burns the flash immediately. And what that means is that this team fight is very, very winnable for Emprox.
Yeah,
Boma definitely has the ability to win this for his team, as no ults were really burned bot lane to kill the Mundo.
This is such a weird
position.
position.
Burned.
Both of these guys kind of trading positions. AVA going straight up mid lane looking for that turret. It is going to be another Earth Dragon picked up here for Emprox. So prizing the ability to one-hit these objectives. Baron is in 20 seconds, so it could serve them well, but they will lose their mid-inner.
Both teams sort of getting what they want here, which is weird, right? There's not many scenarios in League where both teams win. But AVA, they need gold. So they love getting those towers. It also means that they can now fight over mid priority for this Baron vision.
Yeah, you don't need to lose
on the other hand, already have the gold lead. They want to get those neutral objectives. They want to get the stats. And that mountain with the Baron spawning is huge for them.
Hook is actually looking good there. Relopo has to flash out of the way, and that could have been a big start. If he hides in that bush, gets in between,
flash W for
behind
this next team fight either.
Emprox,
So
can't go for the flash W.
Baron
And this Baron is just going to get
coming
shredded. It will be double Mountain Drake, so the HP bar is just
almost
denied.
dead already.
1K, and it just gets cleaned up. Sejuani cannot find the steal. And Galio is into the backline. Look at the AD carries, and Boma is coming in. Iano is looking to deal so much damage, and Boma untouched in the pit.
To the backline.
Goes over, and the flay actually cancels that one. Emprox may just clean up the back end, and that is an ace. 32 minutes and the Baron buff.
And Boma and Liv both full HP at the end of that fight. They both do unreal amounts of damage. Love the Executioner's calling pickup from the Corki. So smart. Just start shooting those rockets into the team fight. AoE healing reduction. Massive team fight out of Emprox there. They shred the Baron. Faulkner, I spoke about this last week a little bit, about committing to the steal and what it means for the team fight afterwards. Last week it was the Dragon. Faulkner trying to steal. Actually, it was Faulkner both times. Faulkner trying to steal the Dragon last week. Loses his team to team fight here. Tries to steal the Baron. They lose the team fight again. And Emprox, despite having the lead the whole game, it feels like they sort of snatched that one.
Yeah, the steal on the Baron was incredibly close. Like that really like held them back in through the mid game, right? Like they should have by all rights lost that one, whether it was the chains, whether it was the rocket, not quite sure, but they do like hold themselves in, given that should have been like a Mountain for Baron trade, and if you're winning, that is not a good trade.
No. Faulkner, I rarely criticize junglers for the smite. It's a tough job, particularly when the steal is there.
People say it's easier to steal.
Yes, so I try not to. But at the same time, it's when you get stolen from a Corki rocket.
Feels bad.
I mean, if he had smited at full HP, the Baron would have died before Corby could have rocketed.
This is some hella hindsight talking. This is some results-based analysis.
Had smited at all at any stage,
yeah.
Baron would have died, and his team would have gone on to win the game.
But
don't feel bad for him. He played really well.
Yeah, that could have been the case, but unfortunately for them, certainly was not. Emprox, they do come up with the win. That last team fight completely shredded. The Vayne of the backline's just untouched, just hitting everyone. Corky deals that damage, and
said at the start of the game, we're
the
talking about it in Champ Select. Like, this is every champion here is kiteable by Mboma.
Yep. He didn't need a kite, he hit ass and just right-clicked behind a Cataclysm.
A-moved the Nexus.
Yep.
And anything that was in between him and the Nexus died.
Yeah.
So, yeah, huge game out of the Emprox bot lane. Big fan of what they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Our take on the Thresh had a big performance, but that is game number 2 done and dusted. Emprox, they do pick up the win. Don't go anywhere. It is going to be QUT versus Mammoth Academy for game number 3 of the day.